How we doing?
We can start with Demetrius, followed by John Shipley.
Hey, Press, I appreciate you doing this, and I hope you guys are staying safe. Just with the offense and what's happened over the last few weeks, at what point maybe do you guys just get back to the basics, or what do you sort of have to do to fix it?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to making plays to establish some consistency. I mean, that's been the biggest thing. We've had opportunities there we haven't made at certain times, and then it just kind of feels on top of you a little bit. And starting fast is a big thing for us. Um, we were able to score, I think, the second drive of the game, but going 3 and out to start, we got to be able to be there for our defense when our defense needs us in a situation like it was the other night. But we got to produce earlier in games so they're not getting behind the game situation as it goes.
Is there anything you guys might have to change in how you go about operating the offense, or do you just kind of have to power through it?
I mean, we'll look at anything and everything. So we're always tweaking certain things that we think are going to benefit us. We're not just going to change, but we're going to certainly look at everything we do. Are we good at this? Are we not good at this? Why are we not good at this? What's going to give us an advantage against this defense and put our best players in position to make plays? So we're always evaluating that. Yeah.
And then just last thing, I know it's a short week, but is it any help that, you guys know this opponent very well? The Texans are a divisional opponent.
Yeah, it always helps when you've played an opponent, especially twice in the past year, and has the same defensive coordinator, play caller. That certainly helps you on short weeks, but we know we have our hands full with a very good defense.
Thank you.
John Shipley, followed by Mark Long.
Hey, Press. Thanks for doing this. Hope you guys all staying safe. When it comes to, the opening drives that you guys have you guys been able to maybe put a finger on why maybe there has been kind of a lack of success with just starting fast and extending drives when you guys get the ball?
Just taking advantage of every situation. I think every situation is very different as well. At Miami, I think we kind of busted an operation in terms of a movement play on the first play of the game, put us in second and 16 or something to start the game. The other night, I think on second down, we had a drop that puts you in third manageable and you end up in third down. So every situation is very different. So I don't know if I'd necessarily say it's one thing. If we were able to do that and put our finger on it, we would certainly solve that right away. But we look at each play as its own entity and try to figure out what went wrong or right on that play and how do we repeat that or correct it as we move forward.
And the last one for me, what are you seeing from Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter? Like, just what kind of challenge do they bring? Obviously, they're both great individual players, but seeing them as a duo, what kind of challenge is that?
Well, I mean, obviously you have to commit as many resources as possible to keep edges clean. And then when a team like this has edges, both edges are dangerous threats in terms of pass rush potential, you have to pick your spots with basically when are you going to leave somebody one-on-one? How are you going to provide help? What are you going to look like for certain aspects of things? Then, Derek Barnett and Jared Hughes they're great pass rushers behind them as well. I spent a lot of time with Derek Barnett watching him play. They obviously acquired him after we were done playing them last year, but he's a very good player as well. So we have our hands full again which is no different with a lot of these edge teams, the teams have on the edges like this.
Thanks, Press.
Mark Long.
Hey, Press, when you're struggling early with the ball, do you change up your script? Do you do something different? Do you rip up kind of what hasn't worked and go in a different direction?
Yeah. Again, I think each game is different in terms of how you approach. So there's certain approaches in the way we want to attack a defense early or the way we think the game is going to go in terms of, do we need to be aggressive? Do we need to establish the run? Do we, is there certain elements that we want to attack or just, I guess, expand upon with our own offense? And then as a game goes on, there's certainly adjustments. Are they playing us in more single high, more middle open? Are they playing more man? Is there pressure more? So you build your game script or your call sheet, I guess. We particularly build our game plan to where we know where the adjustments are. If they're going to come out and start playing 5-man fronts, this is the menu we get to. If they're going to start playing more man, here's the plays we identify within the game. So that's kind of the cat and mouse that goes along with each game as well.
And obviously there's a lot going wrong offensively. And it's hard to say, this will fix it. But in your mind, is there like one thing that you think would be the key to maybe getting you guys back on track? I think the players were talking yesterday about, just it's got to come from the best. It's got to come from the stars.
Yeah.
Our better players have got to do what they're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, your best players have to play their best. I mean, it's no different. That's the way it's always been. And then you got to make the plays that come to you. So if we can consistently do the right thing down in, down out, across the board, all 11 plus coaching staff, the communication process, everything. If we can just do the little things well, that's going to lead to the big plays happening throughout the course. And that's the expectation. I think that's the obvious too, but consistently doing those little things right are going to lead to, over the course of a game, putting up points, maximizing your opportunities, converting third downs, things like that. That'll add to your success.
We'll go back to John Shipley.
Chris, yeah, just when it comes to Trevor, you get a sense, maybe not necessarily pressing, but are there times where it feels like maybe he's trying to get everything back at once, especially the Monday night game? And if so, how do you kind of rein a quarterback in and try to get him to remember, take what's there, it's a long game, etc.
I mean, I think when you say something like that, you're referring to holding the ball and trying to look for a bigger play that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's necessarily what's gone on. I think it's just doing the right thing consistently, whether it's, first play of the game, first third down of the game, first opportunity in the red zone, what we're looking for, what we're trying to take advantage of, what's our drop look like, what's the cadence we're using on certain things, just all those things. And then everybody around them has to play well as well. We have to be able to count on, if you're supposed to be at 6 yards, you're at 6 yards. You're not at 4 yards. You're not at 8 yards. If you're supposed to have this particular launch point on a certain play, so the line knows where you're at, the back knows where you're at, you got to be there. It's just all those little things over and over. And, I think it's not one consistent factor that's been going on for us, but it's, everybody's kind of taking their turn at the wrong time, it seems like, to have a lapse in the way we play. But, you see little stretches of it, but not consistently enough for us to put enough points on the board to win games.
And it'd be easier to correct if it was just the one thing or maybe even one player, right?
Right. If it was just clear and obvious that this is our one issue right here, then we would certainly address that as quickly as possible. But again, I don't think it's anything major. I don't think it's anything we can't correct. So we've tried to make sure we put the right amount of attention to that, to get it corrected in practice so that we can count on everybody to be able to do their job at the right time. And then, like I said, consistently make plays when they come your way.
Thanks, Press.
Yep.
Demetrius.
Yeah, Press, I just wanted to go back to something you said about, the all players sort of making these little mistakes at the wrong time. How do you, in terms of fixing something like that, being at the right depth or just making the simple basic adjustments, how do you fix something like that, and why do you think it's occurring? You guys are in year 3 of your offense.
Yeah, that's something we always look into, of why do certain things happen. And sometimes it's like you guys are kind of getting at, as a game goes on, guys are looking to make a play. So maybe I feel like if I go a little quicker on this one, I'll get the ball a little quicker. Well, we're counting on you to be at this depth, or, this has been going on throughout the course of the game. I'm going to jump set a guy and now they got a different rush on, whatever it may be. There's just certain things that come up, but I think it is, to an extent, everybody just trying to make a play, where it's really just do your job at the highest possible level, and let's see what happens when we get 11 guys doing the exact same thing at the right time. So it's nothing we feel like we can't correct, but it's got to happen. There's certainly an urgency to make things happen as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Last one, Brian Sexton.
Is it there? Can you hear me?
Got you.
Okay. The other night, everything the Bills did looked easy. And conversely, it looked like everything you were trying to do was hard. So from that perspective, what do you have confidence in right now? I mean, what do you go into Houston with going, I know we can do this?
I think, again, each game is a little different in the way you play as an offense, but we don't feel like there's anything that we have done that we just cannot correct or cannot get fixed as we move forward. We do believe that if we can just maintain consistency, do the little things right throughout the course of the game, that good things will happen. We're able to put it together in spurts, but you got to start the game fast, getting yourself behind. I think we were behind the second time we touched the ball, it's 14-0 or something like that. So those situations, we got to step up and help our defense. If they give up an early score or the other team goes down and scores early, we got to possess the ball. We got to move the football. We got to give them time to recover on the sideline. We got to put points on the board. That was a game that we needed to to hold serve there, and we weren't able to do that for our defense. And it's everything throughout the course of a season that's going to happen. You know, you got to play complementary football, but we just want to continue to try to do the right things over and over as we move forward.
That
That's everyone. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.